A defender's arm is glued to his side. The ball smashes into it from 2 feet away. Penalty. Now, a striker stretches his hand out to control a pass and scores. No goal. Same body part, two completely opposite decisions. If you've ever screamed, "That's never handball," at your screen, this video is for you. Because by the end of it, you'll understand the rule better than most professional pundits. Most fans think handball comes down to one simple question. Did the ball touch the hand? It doesn't. IFAB, the body that writes football's laws, actually uses 3 separate tests, and a handball offense only exists if at least one of them comes back yes. Not every touch of the ball with the hand or arm is an offense. That's written into the laws word for word. We'll go through all 3, then look at how this rule got rewritten twice in the last 5 years, and why. First, did the player deliberately move their hand or arm toward the ball? If a player reaches for the ball with their hand, that's an offense. Full stop, no matter how small the contact. Second, and this is the one most people get wrong, did the hand or arm make the player's body unnaturally bigger? That means the arm's position isn't a natural result of the movement the player was making at that moment. Arms out wide while jumping, sliding, or blocking a shot? Penalty, even if the player never meant to handle it. Third, did the ball go into the goal directly off the hand or arm, or immediately after touching it, even by accident? A striker cannot score that way, ever. It doesn't matter if it was deliberate or a complete fluke. Notice what's missing. Did the player mean to do it is only relevant for test 1. For tests 2 and 3, intent doesn't matter at all. That's the part that trips up 90% of arguments in the pub. Here's a detail almost nobody knows. The rule only covers the arm from the bottom of the armpit down. If the ball hits your shoulder, it's legally no different from hitting your chest or your head. Goal allowed, foul not given, doesn't matter if it was deliberate. And natural position isn't about where the arm is. It's about whether the arm's position makes sense for what the body is doing in that split second. A defender falling to the ground with an arm out to break the fall usually isn't penalized, because that arm position is a natural consequence of falling, not an attempt to make the body bigger. This law hasn't stayed still. Before 2019, referees mostly judged handball on intent alone. Did the player mean to do it? That led to chaos, because 2 nearly identical incidents could get opposite decisions depending on how a referee read a player's face. In 2019, IFAB introduced the unnaturally bigger language and the strict no scoring from the arm rule, removing intent from the equation for those situations. It was meant to make the rule more consistent. Instead, it created a new controversy. Strikers were having goals disallowed for touches they had zero control over, which felt unfair to a lot of people. By 2021, the wording was refined again to clarify exactly when a goal immediately after a handball touch should be disallowed, tightening the definition so it wasn't punishing pure accidents as harshly. And even now, IFAB keeps issuing new clarifying examples and FAQs almost every season. Handball is one of the laws referees associations get the most questions about. Let's look at 3 kinds of moments where this rule has decided a result and changed how the game talks about handball. The first, a World Cup qualifier where a player controls a falling ball with a clear, deliberate touch before setting up a goal. Deliberate touch. Test 1. No ambiguity, no debate. The second, a Champions League penalty, awarded after review because a defender's arm was spread out wide while diving to block a shot. The arm made the body unnaturally bigger. Test 2. The third, and the one that splits opinion every single time, a disallowed goal in a top-flight match because the ball came off the upper arm and not the shoulder. A few centimeters, one way or the other, and it's a completely different outcome. None of these needed a villain. They just needed the rule applied exactly as written, which is exactly why they still get argued about today. Now let's bust 4 myths that even longtime fans get wrong. Myth 1. If the ball hits your hand, it's always a foul. Busted. If the arm is in a natural position and the player didn't make their body bigger, it's just football. This happens dozens of times a match with no whistle. Myth 2. Accidental handball can never be a penalty. Busted. If the arm made the body unnaturally bigger, it's penalized even without intent. Accidental and legal are not the same thing. Myth 3. Any part of the arm counts, including the shoulder. Busted. The shoulder is legally not part of the arm for this rule. A shoulder goal always stands. Myth 4. A defensive block with the hand can never be a red card. True, with a huge asterisk. If it's inside the box and stops a certain goal, a deliberate handball on the line is a straight red and a penalty. This is one of the most punishing single moments in football.
Let's test what you just learned. 4 quick scenarios. Penalty or no penalty? 1. The ball rebounds off a defender's chest onto their own arm, held tight to the body, and no goal follows. No penalty. Natural position. 2. An attacker stretches an arm out to control a bouncing ball before shooting and scoring. No goal. Scoring restriction, deliberate touch. 3. The ball deflects off a defender's head onto their raised arm while they're jumping for a header. Penalty. Unnaturally bigger. 4. The ball strikes a player's shoulder and loops into the goal. Goal stands. The armpit line rule. Comment your score below. Most people get at least one of these wrong.
Handball looks like the simplest rule in football, and it's actually one of the most technical. If this helped it finally make sense, subscribe. Every week we break down another rule nobody actually understands. And tell me in the comments, what's the handball decision that still makes you angry?